to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty. Best to give me your loyalty, 'cause I'm taking the world, you'll see. They'll be calling me, they'll be calling me royalty.
Okay, before we get started today, I want to give a huge shout out to these guys right here, Bowler Performance Transmissions. They have been helping me out with getting a lot of the little stuff that I need for my T56 transmission swap. Now, when I did the swap, I bought the Merlin machining adapter and mount kit. I didn't get the transmission itself. I didn't get any shifter rotation assembly stuff. The harness, the transmission itself, like none of that was included with just the kit. The other day I posted on Instagram that I was making my own shifter bracket. I had my own little piece of aluminum that I was gonna cut and drill holes into and make my own offset bracket. Well, one of the guys from Bowler Performance Transmission that helped me get the transmission initially reached out to me and said, hey, we have those in stock. If you're interested, let me piece you together some stuff and I'll send you a quote. So literally overnighted this entire box. That doesn't always happen. That's just good customer service right there. And it's hard to find that nowadays. So if you guys need any transmission stuff, whether it be T56 or 4L80, 4L60, any automatic stuff, these guys are awesome and they'll get you taken care of and they'll help you out with what you need along the way. Obviously, they sent the banner, which you just saw. We got some stickers, but this is the main thing. This little guy right here goes into the transmission and it'll pretty much be the perfect offset for what I need for my own shifter bracket. So they sent me that, some extra little adapters for the nightstick shifter that I have, and also a shift lever and a shift knob. Now, I'll probably end up switching it out for more of an OEM style look, but I mean, this thing's pretty freaking sweet as it is. Now, they don't do stuff for the factory 5-speed that comes in the Z32. They do mostly GM transmissions or Tremec transmissions. So let's get this shifter offset relocation installed and get it ready to go. That way we can drive the car. If I can get the car tuned enough to where the wastegates are opening up, I would call that a win. Granted, we will still have to go through a little bit of driving procedure and braking procedure with the vehicle, with the motor. It's still the same bottom end, but the heads are completely rebuilt. They're bigger cams, stock lifters, but however, we did port and polish the head. But it's nothing crazy. It shouldn't take too long. It should be pretty straightforward. So let's go ahead and dive into this. We're going to start with the shifter relocation adapter. We're going to change the oil in it one more time, get some conventional oil in it so I can do a proper break-in. And then it'll pretty much be ready to go. Then we just got some tuning to do. Maybe a wash. I'll probably end up washing it here. Let's go ahead and jump into this and let's get this video rolling. Okay, so since I don't have anything bolted in really here, this should all come right out fairly simple. I do, however, still have my 3D print adapter on my shifter, so you'll be able to see that in this video as well. And that's my 3D printed shifter relocation adapter. It's very simple. Obviously I wasn't going to use the plastic piece. I was going to make a metal piece, but I was test fitting the dimensions to see if this would actually work or not. And that's it. So apparently I didn't need to take out those bolts. These are just little guides going right here on the pins. I gotta fish the other one out from underneath because it fell down. But that's literally it. It's actually really easy to do. We're just gonna go ahead and put these bolts right in because we didn't have to take them out anyways. I take the new shifter. I'm gonna go ahead and throw these guys on either side, just as it came out. And then we can drop it right on in. And it should, theoretically, there's already enough grease in there, So I'm not too worried about greasing it up. There's that. And then it goes back together just the way it came apart. I know it's a little bit extravagant, but you gotta admit, that looks freaking badass. In a 300ZX, oh my god. That feels fantastic. I'm really happy about this. I think I'm more excited for the transmission setup in this car than I am for the motor setup in this car, if that makes any sense. I guess it's go time now. It's actually dark outside, so I'm not gonna drive it anymore tonight. We'll drive it first thing in the morning because it's ready to go, you guys. Let's catch some sleep. I got some video editing to do yet from another video, and we'll be back here in the morning. Okay, so I know I said that today I'd be driving the car. I had it all ready to go yesterday and everything's good. Thought I'd be driving it today. There's just one problem. I have another part I forgot to put in. Also, I still have to take that spark plug wire off the car so that it'll move and drive like a normal vehicle. Obviously, the hood still has to go on, but I just want to take it out up the street real quick with the hood off and make sure everything else is good before I officially put the hood back on the car. As you guys may know, once the hood goes back onto a car, then it's go time. Anyways, you're probably wondering what I'm holding here. This here is going to be my coolant reservoir. As you may know, I removed my factory coolant reservoir to fit my fuse box in that location. So the next problem I have is, what are we gonna do for a coolant reservoir? Well, after looking around, I ordered a cylinder style coolant reservoir, which will fit right onto my radiator fan shroud, which is very convenient because it'll bolt right onto that. Obviously, I got a couple other little things to do, but yeah, we're getting there. The car's gonna drive today. I'm gonna drive it today. Okay, so hear me out. 20 bucks. Amazon. Very simple, very straightforward. It's simply a coolant overflow reservoir. This is pretty much identical to what I have in the CRX, actually. Keep in mind, I'm not really a fabricator here, but tell you what I can do is I can drill holes and bend some metal. So that's what we're gonna do here. And I probably didn't show this fan shroud in any of my other videos. I made this thing at home, in the garage, whatever you want to call it, like everything else I do. It didn't require any welding or nothing. It's basically just a blank sheet of aluminum. I believe this is 1/8 inch. I drew where I need to, cut out the fan, cut out the corners into little squares out of the corners so that when I bend it, they don't overlap and it folds nicely together. And then I cut the corners. I made a little bit extra metal here so that I have a mounting tab for this. And as you can see, it bends right out. And I have not had any overheating issues with this setup at all. And I've put this car through some very hot drive cycles with this fan on it. So. feels awesome. I don't know how else to describe that. Everything looks good. Data looks good. It's not overheating. I don't think doesn't seem to be leaking any fluids. Everything's coming together. This is going to be awesome. I'm super happy. Super happy. Like, this is incredible. I can't believe this thing is running as well as it is already. Okay, so first order of business today. The car's obviously been sitting while I've been working on the motor and painting it, so on and so forth. Without getting into too much detail, it obviously needs a wash. So I'm gonna go ahead, play bar it, wash it, throw a quick wax on it, and then we can finally start driving the car. The car actually runs pretty good because I did get some tuning on it the last time I had the car running with the new intake manifold. The biggest changes now are obviously the turbos and the headwork, which was done. That is pretty much what we're going to have to be tuning, which we'll have to do mostly with higher RPM stuff, which is not all that hard. Which, knock on wood, everything goes smoothly and nothing comes apart on me. So let's get to washing this thing real quick. All right, so it's all cleaned up, ready to go. Let's go get some driving in. I'm very excited, but at the same time, I am super nervous because we'll see what actually happens once the car gets in the boost. I guess it's now or never. If anything's gonna happen, this is it. So wish me luck. All right, guys, here we go. Time to do some testing and tuning with the car. I also left my car on while I was washing it, so we could have a bad battery. A dead battery anyways, but we'll find out once we start driving here. The car starts up very well, and it doesn't take long for it to sit there and hold an idle, considering this car doesn't even have an idle air control valve in it. So all those of you that are like, oh, I can't lose my idle air control valve, you know who you are. This car idles great for not having an idle air control valve, and all I simply do is have my ignition timing set up to control my idle RPM speed. Now, I'm not sure the exact ratio, but I want to say for every 5 degrees of ignition timing, the car jumps up another 100 RPM, 50 to 100 RPM or so. Say, first drive, first like feeling of it, the clutch is everything I thought it would be, the transmission's everything I thought it would be. The clutch, I could literally get the car moving without giving it any gas. Granted, I do have the RPM set a little high right now. It's sitting about 1100 RPM, but even without that, it is a super smooth engagement. And get some heat in the motor right now. Ambient temps are right around 72 degrees today, so it is quite literally a perfect day out. We can get in the boost here really quick. We're starting to get into temperature. About 5 psi. It's about 4 psi. It feels really good. Sure what's happening there. Car kind of stumbled on its face, honestly. It's like it started building boost and it cut out on me. Okay, so I've been sitting here for a hot minute now, reviewing the data. It looks like as soon as I started climbing in the boost, it pulled back all of my timing. Now, the weird thing is my knock level wasn't showing anything. I know there's a possibility that I could have switched around the connectors for the knock sensor and the VCT sensor. So I'm going to take the car back to the house and double check that. It shouldn't be trying to activate VTC either, because it's not quite at that RPM. I'm only at 3900 RPM when that happens, and my VTC isn't set to engage until like, I believe it was 4500. I'll have to look into that too, but this is unusual because it's pulling timing and it shouldn't be. Okay guys, so I'm here, I'm back at the house, going over the data one more time before I look at the car. There's definitely some ignition timing that's being pulled. So we got 2.8 psi at 3800 RPM. We're doing pretty good, doing pretty good. It did want to climb right here, but the issue was it started pulling back boost around here. And then once we got to about right here, we're at 2 degrees of ignition timing. That is way too low. We're at 3 psi boost, 3900 RPM. And I should be at right around 20 degrees of ignition timing at that RPM. So something's definitely not right there. Okay, so real quick, I just noticed this. I went to a different part of my data log here, back to the early part of it. If you look right in here, you can see where my knock level logged shot way up, and it just stayed maxed out like the entire time. So what that makes me think is I think I got my VTC switched with my knock sensors plugged. So let's go ahead and look at the car, because I'm pretty sure that's what that means. All right guys, it's a beautiful day out today. I got the Z idling. I'm getting kind of a late start to recording, and the reason for that is because I've been working on the Nissan actually, but the primary things I've been working on are actually just little stuff here and there. Car's warming up right now. As you can see, it's running like a top. It sounds phenomenal. The engine sounds so good right now. I'm beyond happy with it. We're gonna go get some testing, do some tuning, hit a little bit of boost today. We should be hitting open wastegate. Fingers crossed everything goes smoothly up to that point, but when we get there, we'll get there. So for right now, let's go for a ride and let's enjoy this. So long story short, I've been fighting with the car pulling timing on me. Right as I'm getting into boost, right around 3,800, 4,000 RPMs, I would say. I thought it was knock. I basically got rid of knock detection altogether. Honestly, I don't think we need it. The car's gonna be on ethanol the entire time anyways, like 90% of the time. So if I do ever put 93 octane in it, I guarantee you I'm not going to be putting the car in boost. So with all that said, I was doing some digging and thought, well, maybe it has something to do with my speedometer, because my speedometer isn't working right now because I assume I got something wired wrong in the Bowler all-in-one harness. So maybe it has something to do with my speedometer. Well, sure enough, I forgot that I have my anti-lag set up to go based off of my mile per hour. So with that said, the car was actually trying to go into like a rolling anti-lag as we're driving down the road. So yeah, pretty crazy, right? So long story short, I'm disabling the anti-lag for now, and then we'll have to get the speedometer fixed later on, and then we can set up the anti-lag. So for the time being, no anti-lag, but we can continue on with tuning the car. Let's get this thing on the road. The T56 with McLeod RXT twin disc. Oh my goodness, there's a reason Grannis Racing likes this setup. It is nice. It feels freaking just right. So what I'm expecting is as soon as I get in the boost, the car's gonna run a little lean. So let's see what actually happens here.